I'm Jimi Hendrix, and this episode is called The Covenant on the Christian Sphere. Okay, I realize technology limitations, having to change the music a little bit. We'll get back to that hopefully by next week. Maybe the week after. But this week we're in Come Follow Me, and we're following the book of Deuteronomy. And, for this past week. I do the week before, the week that we covered on the following Sunday night. So this coming up week, I will be doing next Sunday night, as usual, because we're going to talk about Come Follow Me. There's some verses that stood out with me as far as the covenant. The first one is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 3 through 4. And this is something that is important. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Let's camp out here a little bit, okay? Now, there is a Hebrew word for hear, and I'm going to pronounce it for you because some people mispronounce it. It is Shema, and in Hebrew, the whole phrase of that is Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And then verse 4, it says, and thou shalt love the Lord your God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all of thy might. Let me tell you something. I remember reading that in the New Testament when I was 12 years old. Was not a member of the church, would not become one for 19 years. And that sunk with me. That resonated with me. And not for the reason that some people might say would resonate with people. I'll tell you why on my end. I was a sickly child growing up. And I was born legally blind with multiple birth defects. And, it was the other birth defects that required me to report to a specialist every 6 months when I was a child in Dallas. And it was those times that I would go to Dallas with a specialist to get the lab test done, and I would hold on to that. I was like, the Lord loves me. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. I tell people this, and I firmly believe this when I'm in my public. My faith is a part of everything I do. And the thing is, once you've made a covenant with the Lord, and you enter the waters of baptism, and I realize it's easier said than done in a lot of ways, but you don't need to compromise your covenants. And I gotta be honest with you, in this day and age, it can be hard. It can be hard. But I will tell you this much. The Lord knows and understands each and every one of us. And He gives us a choice, okay? Now, I discovered this before I joined the church, but it had special meaning once I entered the waters of baptism. I believe it's in Deuteronomy chapter 31. Let me see if I can get my Bible. I'll get my Bible, and we're going to go ahead and go there as soon as I can find my Bible. I'm going to tell you something, guys. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where This is where you get to learn the truth. Where, that the iron is in the fire and you strike it while it's hot. Deuteronomy, some people may say, well, Deuteronomy is boring. No, I don't think so. I used to think so. Some Christians might think so. Because they say, well, law of Moses is done away with. Okay, but maybe you could read Deuteronomy in a different light. Maybe you can read Deuteronomy with an eye towards the higher law of Christ. Because when we enter a covenant with Him, we are under His higher law. And, I've had many good friends, some friends in the past say, you guys are legalistic. Seriously, this that you do, it smacks of Judaism. Okay, and so it does. But that's the beauty of it, okay? We are a branch of Christianity that will not compromise the covenant and the covenant that we make with our Lord. I know. Because see, the beauty of it is, Christ understands us all. In spite of what we're going through. Because of what we're going through. You see, in Exodus and Leviticus, we get signs and types of what the atonement of Jesus Christ would be and is like. But in Deuteronomy, we go beyond just, what most Christians say, all you gotta do is just believe. The covenant of the Lord tells us, hey, we must exercise some faith. How often do we do that? How often do we exercise faith? How often do we begin to understand how the covenant is? Now, I have found my King James Bible. I believe this is in Deuteronomy chapter 31. This is the verse that stood up for me. And people get bogged down in Leviticus. But the beauty of Leviticus is if you look at it in the sign of the atonement and the covenant, there you go. And Deuteronomy, oh man. I think Deuteronomy should be something that we should make an effort to at times study more regularly. There's a lot of beauty in Deuteronomy. Okay, I'm going to try to get to verse 31. And it's funny. It was back when I was a Baptist, when I discovered these particular sets of verses. And I was going through a very hard divorce. And I was deeply searching for spiritual answers to help deal with my pain. Okay. Let me see if I can find this, because this is a huge part of what I believe is the Latter-day Saint. In fact, there was a song about this particular passage. Bear with me as I look for this. And I want you to look at this in the eye of faith. In the eye of the covenant. Trying to find this, or it's kind of Deuteronomy 31 is such a long verse. Okay. Let me look one more time, and if I can't find it, then what I will do is, for the second time, just go ahead and let me go ahead and do a word search, and I'll come back to you with the exact chapter and verse and words. Wrong chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19 says, Behold, I set before you two choices, life and death. Choose life, that ye might live. I remember in the late 1990s, early 2000s, they, and I understand, some of the audience I may be talking to is the younger ones you might not remember. There was a bumper sticker all over the country called Choose Life. That was a pro-life bumper sticker, and I'm not going to get into the politics and the reactivity and all that stuff. Needless to say, choose life, meaning the culture of life, meaning the covenant of life, which is righteousness. It's more than just a slogan. It's more than just a bumper sticker. It's a part of the covenant that we make with Jesus Christ. From the moment we have faith in Him, and the moment that we get on the covenant path by entering the waters of baptism. Now, here's something President Nelson says about spiritual momentum. He says you get on the covenant path and you stay there. Now, today in Elders Quorum, our teacher was like a physics teacher in high school. And he was likening it to, his basic formula for momentum. But as a personal development guy, the way I see it, momentum is a forward moving on an exacting course to lead you to success and empowerment. I hope you enjoyed listening to The Christian Sphere. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of the Christian Sphere family. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time. Take care. Remember who you are. Read your scriptures, and by all means, please preach the gospel. God bless you.